Picture this. Everyone around you is tense, shouting at a screen, celebrating or collapsing over people they have never met, and you feel oddly disconnected. If you would rather observe than participate, rather think than react, you are not broken. You are simply operating on a different psychological frequency. Not obsessing over sports is often mislabeled as boredom, when in reality it reflects how your brain filters stimulation and emotional investment. Science suggests that your nervous system may prioritize stability, depth, and personal relevance over collective highs and lows. If this feels familiar, like and subscribe before we go deeper. You are not alone in this way of seeing the world. Let us unpack what this difference actually means, starting from everyday life. Think about the last time you were at a party or a family gathering during a big game. The room is thick with tension. People are clutching their drinks as if their lives depend on the next 30 seconds of play. You look at the screen, then back at your friends, and you just don't feel it. It is like everyone is speaking a language you never learned to care about, and that is perfectly okay. You see, for most people, sports are modern-day tribes. Thousands of years ago, being part of a group meant survival. And today, that ancient instinct is hijacked by team jerseys and stadium chants. When a fan watches their team, their brain floods with oxytocin, the same chemical that helps you bond with your family. But your brain is a bit more selective. It doesn't easily trick you into thinking a group of millionaire athletes are your literal kin. You might have noticed that you don't experience that us versus them mentality as strongly as others do. While fans are busy hating the rival team, you are likely wondering why grown adults are so angry at someone wearing a different color shirt. This is actually a sign of a more individualistic psychological core. You don't need a group identity to feel complete or secure. Science even suggests this might be written in your DNA. Research shows that variations in dopamine receptors can predict how much we care about competitive spectator events. For a sports fanatic, the unpredictability of a game acts like a slot machine. It provides constant, addictive microdoses of dopamine. Every near miss and every score keeps them hooked on a cycle of intermittent reinforcement. Your brain, however, might prefer rewards that are more tangible and within your control, like finishing a book, mastering a hobby, or having a deep conversation. There is also a fascinating concept called basking in reflected glory or burging. This is why people say we won when their team succeeds. They are borrowing someone else's victory to boost their own self-esteem. Since you don't obsess over sports, your self-concept is likely more stable and consistent. You don't need an external victory from a stadium to feel like a winner in your own life. You are not looking for a reflected glow because you are busy cultivating your own light, focusing on your own goals and your own growth. Sometimes people might tell you that you lack empathy because you don't care when a famous player gets injured. But the truth is, your empathy is simply allocated elsewhere. You might feel deeply moved by a piece of music, a social cause, or a friend's personal struggle. You just choose not to spend that emotional energy on a televised game. This is a healthy boundary. It is the ability to distinguish between entertainment and reality. You are choosing to be a participant in your own life rather than a spectator in someone else's. This doesn't make you boring or cold. It makes you present. You are spending your Sundays living your own story, and that is a much higher stakes game than anything happening on a field. It is time we redefine this disinterest as a form of mental clarity, a way to keep your peace in a world that is constantly shouting for your attention. Let's look at how this all comes together to define who you really are. Ultimately, your indifference to the stadium's roar is not a void. It is a quiet, powerful affirmation of your own identity. You aren't broken or socially detached. Your brain has simply chosen to stop borrowing glory from strangers and start building it from within. This biological calibration means your self-worth doesn't fluctuate with a scoreboard. It remains anchored in the reality of your own hands and your own heart. You are not a spectator in someone else's drama. You are the conscious protagonist of your own life. If this internal stillness also makes you feel overwhelmed in loud, packed environments, our next journey into the minds of those who feel allergic to crowded places will show you why your sensitivity is actually a rare gift. Share your thoughts on this quiet rebellion in the comments below. I would love to read your perspective. Until next time, keep honoring the rhythm that feels true to you.